So we just dropped Darla off, and we've got Alicia and Waboose and the U-Haul ahead of us. And we had our final closing circle, our talking circle. Final circle was our closing ceremony. We planted sweetgrass. We went to the water when we got there, straight to the lake. It was the very lake that we started our opening ceremony at and with. And so it was a beautiful thing today to pull up to Sugar Point and see the lake with big waves and just looking so beautiful and clear. Because last time when we were here in May 1st, you know, it was frozen. And I couldn't believe it, come from Oklahoma, you know, everything was green. So it was kind of a shock. Well, we came up here and to complete this mission, we came up here to finish this ceremony that was started in February of 2016 on the banks of La Jolla Shores in California. You know, we were looking at those videos before we walked into DC and onto the Lincoln Memorial, and you know, there was such a feeling of complete victory. Because, you know, what wouldn't have probably never happened if it didn't take, you know, all that it did to get us back here. And it's cost a lot, you know. We still have bills to pay that, you know, we got to get back and hustle. And this U-Haul ahead of us, it's was leased because of this walk. You know, and because there was just 5 of us and we were on a skeleton crew, you know, we didn't have anybody to raise money for us or anything like that. You know, we just knew we needed to get this walk done. And so now that we are making it back, we're making it back home. Once we get back into Indian Territory, you know, we got to turn this in. We don't know what's going to happen. We turned in some paperwork for the U-Haul and asking, you know, for, you know, if 501 is sufficient for some assistance with this, with the rental of this U-Haul, because Alicia, she put it in her name, and you know, so it's something. It's an expense, and we're calculating about $5,000, you know, and that's, can't tell you how much. It's about $150 per tank, every gas, you know, every fill up, and so, you know, we've been relying on friends and family, you know, and we've been helped with. We've been helped generously. If that wasn't so, we would not have made it. There's just no way we would have made it. There were times we didn't know how we were going to get gas. There were times that we just didn't know if we would make it. But, you know, now we've made it. And now we're on our way home. Alicia, she got a whole bunch of stuff that she didn't have. She's got a bunch of material. She's got a sewing machine. She beads now. It's just an amazing. It's amazing to witness how awesome this walk has been to complete. Probably one of the scariest things, because, you know, it was just the 5 of us making decisions, and, you know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, there's been times past when all 5 of us maybe didn't make the best decision for our lives, but here we are, and, you know, we are letting our leader who started this this walk, Dennis Banks, Darla's dad, Waboose's grandfather, you know, finishing up this obligation you know, and what it means in the spiritual realm, at least for us, because, you know, Pops and I got our sobriety from this walk in 2016, and we know the importance of finishing a ceremony. So I'm so grateful that we've been able to finish this. You know, I look forward to doing more in our community and the surrounding communities, and even, you know, nationally. So we've been invited to go to a place in Michigan next weekend, and I'd like to go, but I know that once I get home, my body is going to straight up tell me no. So anyway, I just thought I would take this little video log as we're following this U-Haul as we have across this country for the past month, you know, and just want to remember this feeling that I have today as I share this gratitude about how far we've come, you know, and this gratitude for how far we're going to go.